You don't always need tons of layers and embellishments to create a beautiful card. Sometimes less is more. Today on Stamp TV, I'm going to show you a clean and simple, delicate card project featuring the new Petals and Wings Stamp TV kit. Let me show you the tools and products you need to do this card. First, you're going to need some stamps, and I have the little image with the two birds sitting on the branch from the new Petals and Wings kit. And I also have a thank you greeting. This is one of the longer greetings from the kit. Then I have 4 colored Copic markers here. I have RV34, which is dark pink. I have YG91, which is putty. RV11, which is pink. And B01, which is mint blue. And then, to use with the Copic markers, I have some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I like the Tuxedo Black ink by Memento best for Copic markers because you don't need to heat set the ink, you don't need to do anything to the ink. You stamp it and it's ready to go. Then I have a little bit of our black gingham ribbon. This is the 3/8 of an inch ribbon that comes in the kit. And I have some cardstock. I have a piece of the 120-pound base weight cardstock in white. And then I have another piece of white cardstock. This is the 80-pound layering weight. And I have a piece of the black cardstock. And I made a nice little layer there of the two. Then I have my Cutter Bee scissors to cut my ribbon and some adhesive. And I also have the Score Buddy. And we'll do that in just a second. To begin, you're going to take that small piece of white cardstock and you're going to ink up the image of the two birds sitting on the branch. And I'm going to stamp that image onto my white cardstock, but I'm going to keep it a little bit lower on the piece of cardstock. Right about there. There we go. And now I'm going to sneak my greeting right in between there. Now what I like to do with greetings, if I'm not using the Stamp-A-Majig, sometimes I just like to stamp it once on a piece of scratch paper to just see how straight I have it on the block. And that looks pretty straight. So now I can stamp it in between these two little areas here. Nice and straight like that. And that says, thanks for being there. Such a nice little image. Then I'm going to mount these two pieces together using a little bit of adhesive. And I'll just pop that right onto that piece of black cardstock. And now I'm going to color this image using those Copic markers that I talked about. I'm going to start by coloring the birds this mint blue. And again, I am not a Copic expert. I love to just color with the Copic markers and just lay down color. I don't necessarily need a whole lot of shading. I do like to kind of go around the perimeter a second time, and that does make it just a little bit darker. I'm going to do the same thing with the other bird. There's lots of great Copic experts out there that can teach you how to shade using multiple markers. But if you're just beginning, or maybe you're like me and you just want to add a little bit of nice smooth color, nothing beats a Copic marker because it's streak free. And you can just lay down some extra color there to make it a little bit darker. You can see that shading there that I did. Then I'm going to add a little bit of, I think I'm going to go with the darker pink. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is start with the lighter pink. And then I'll just outline those flowers with the darker pink. I'm just adding that light pink. These flowers are so tiny and delicate. But they're so much fun. Lots of whimsy in this particular kit. And I love making cards with little whimsical images. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of the darker pink around the outside of the flower. You can see that just gives it a little splash of brightness. Just kind of touching the outer edges of the petals. The smaller the flower, the less you need. You just need a tiny little dot. That's why I like the Copic original markers. I like them because they have that really fine little bullet tip. And so many of the things that I like to color are fine and delicate. So that gives it a little splash of color on the outside. And then I decided to use the putty for the leaves because I didn't really want too much green. This is just a very, very soft, almost a gray green, and I like that for this clean and simple look. And that's about that. So next I'm going to add my little piece of ribbon going across. I'm going to add that right about there. And I'm going to tape that down with a little bit of my tape here. There we go. And I'm going to add a little knot right up on this side. Since the image dips down there, it's a good place to add the knot. Right there. And then I'll cut the ends of the ribbon like that. And there I have my little simple birds there. Okay. Next, I'm going to grab my score buddy and I'm going to score this piece of cardstock right at 4 1/4 inches. Whenever you're using our heavy base weight, make sure you score down a couple of times, and then now you have the divot going in this way. It's pressing down in. You want to fold that same way. And use the Score Buddy tool or your Score Pal tool to make a nice crisp fold. And you can see there's no cracking there. It's a beautiful fold. And then, keeping with that clean and simple, I'm just going to pop that right on to that card base. These kinds of cards are really fun to make. They don't take very much time, but they really, really show off your stamps. And there we go. There is my finished card. Clean and simple. So pretty. Now, for those of you who like your cards to be a little bit busier than this one, add one of the pattern papers from the Petals and Wings pattern paper pack as a backdrop, and it will create extra texture on your card.